Thank you, Ram. Very good morning to everybody assembled in this hall. When I was preparing for this session, I thought the topic was very easy, DNA of a successful leader. So I've given that speech number of times. So I listed down a few attributes of successful leadership. So I thought I would come and speak. But then the previous session, I think all those points were very eloquently put forward to, and I don't want to even attempt or repeat what you have heard in the previous session. So I'm really in a spot on what else I can speak for the next 10 minutes. I thought it would be easy because Ram was going to be asking questions, it'll be easy to respond, but then he said you have to speak for 10 minutes. So here I'm really in a fix on what to speak for next 10 minutes. But what I thought I would do is, whatever we heard this morning, if we can relate this to our own experience, both as an individual and also as an organization with which I have been associated with for last 20 years, probably that will reinforce some of the messages that you heard from the earlier speaker. So what does it really take anyone to be very successful? It's needless to say, one has to be very passionate in whatever you do. Without that passion, that commitment, you will not get the desired result. Even in Cognizant, one of the things that we do is we don't ask for any service agreement from all the associates who are joining us in lieu of the training that we provide, because we really want people to work with their heart in the company, not because of some artificial restraints that we place on them that they are working for you. If you are happy and committed and very passionate, it will result in the work that you do for whomsoever you are working for. So that passion, commitment and happiness are the traits that are very, very important for any successful individual. And second thing is the belief, right? You have to believe in what you do. You cannot do something because you have seen success with somebody else doing something else, because that person is doing something because of which he is successful. And if you repeat doing the same thing, you will never be successful. You have to believe in what your thought process is, what is that you are capable of. And if you believe in your own ability and capability and work hard, you will definitely meet with success. So don't go by what the success factors for others are. Look at your own your own self and find out your strengths, play to your strengths, believe in your strengths and work hard. Definitely you will meet with success. And reflecting upon myself, there's no one single formula for success throughout your life. As you grow, you have different sort of feelings, different limitations which you have to overcome to be continuously successful. So even if I look at my own journey, I studied in Chirgari in a Tamil medium school. So me getting exposed to a Chennai environment, probably that was my second trip in my life when I joined Loyola College, right? So it was an overwhelming environment. I walked in with a lot of inferiority complex. So that was the thing that I had to beat with. I had to face with, fighting my own inferiority complex. Then when you do that successfully, then it gives you a lot more confidence. Then as you grow further in life, then you are facing different types of challenges. And every time what I have seen is, if you believe in yourself and know what your limitations are and work hard to overcome those limitations, in the end you will meet with success, and that will give you more confidence. Then subsequently when I joined IIM Bangalore, again the set of individuals whom we were sort of fellow students were very bright individuals, very capable. They also had worked in several organizations, and you had to really compete with them. Not compete with them, you have to be at least equal to them in your interactions. So that puts some more pressure on you, right? So one of the things that I consciously did was, how do I show that I am as good or even better than them? So I really stepped out of my comfort zone and then said, why not I take up some office bearer position within the institute? So actually I stood up for election. It was much against my own comfort zone, fighting for, standing in an election and winning a student body representative. I actually was elected as a placement representative, or one of the 4 student placement representative. I had a great opportunity to interact with many companies who were coming to the institute. That gave me further exposure. What I'm saying is, I was able to sort of extend myself, get out of my comfort zone, and that gave me, and I was encouraged by the environment. And because of that environment, because of my willingness to step out of my comfort zone, and because the result was also positive, the confidence level in me grew significantly. And then when I joined organizations, that confidence sort of started growing in you as your own self, right? Now we started, after we joined Cognizant, we always used to set incremental goals, right? Okay, you are a very small organization. Look at other or larger organizations who are doing better than you. So is there anything that we can do as good or even better so that we can actually catch up with them? So we kept growing and growing as an organization. Now we have started believing that if there is a tough competition and if you are in a situation, now we believe that, hey, okay, if we don't do this deal, right, somebody else is going to win that deal. So what does it do to you? You're going to be a loser, right? But if somebody else is winning and they're going to deliver on those promises that they are making, what do you say to yourself? If somebody else can do that job, why can't I do it myself? So that's what we tell our teams there. If somebody else can do, you have to believe that you can do the job better. If you go with that approach, definitely you will win every opportunity that comes your way. So that should be the motivation with which you come to work every day, that you can do things better than anybody else that you come across. Then you start believing that you are the best. That belief is very, very important in actually growing the confidence in you as an individual. That will actually reflect in whatever you do within the organization, and everybody in the organization is going to notice you, that you play that role as a leader every day. The second most important thing is, winning in an organization is not about individual. It is always about the teamwork. I remember the early days in Cognizant, 96, 97, Lakshmi will remember this. Lakshmi actually asked one of the external agencies to come and do an assessment workshop to see the leadership quality within the organization. You cannot have every trait in every leader, right? You need to really have people with strengths who collectively deliver a very unique value proposition to the customers. So in that assessment workshop, what really emerged was, what 5, 6 of us who was part of Lakshmi's team collectively had all the qualities. I came across as a person who's very, very relationship oriented. Those are my strengths. Numbers is not my strength. But there were other individuals who had phenomenal strength in terms of numbers. There are others who can think on their feet and very innovative. So if really collectively put together, the management team that Lakshmi put together really brought the best of what Cognizant has to offer in the marketplace. That's what really helped the companies to be successful. The point that I'm making is, it is not about one individual. It is about the collective capabilities, skills that you put together, and that synergistic sort of equation that you establish within your own team, that's really going to really win you and help you go places in the marketplace. So it's always about the teamwork. The other aspect, which actually bothers me quite a bit, even last week when I was in another CIA event in Bangalore, it was about knowledge management, and somebody who spoke, they all quoted Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. And one of the entrepreneurs who said he also had problems in studies and he had to drop out of college, but then he was very successful as an entrepreneur. And they were all quoting how Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were successful despite not having a proper education. That's the type of students that we are facing day in and day out. but how do we really make them successful? How do we really make them realize their potential? That is going to be very, very important for our new era of education. And Ms. Mataya talked about, don't blame the system. Do what is that you can do. I think there is a lot that we can do ourselves, but within the system of education that we have, I am sure we can do enough to identify the potential of individuals that we are dealing with in our own educational institutions. And if we do the right thing, and if we can identify even 15 or 20 bright students from every education institution, it will do the industry a lot good, it will do the country a lot good. I think that's what we should really focus on. And coming from the industry, what is that we expect from education institutions is not just skills. We want good people with good attitude. So if education institutions can instill the right attitude, we can definitely groom them in the industry to be successful in whatever they want to do, because there are enough opportunities for them to realize their potential. But if they come to the organizations with the wrong attitude, wrong approach, wrong values, then it's going to be very difficult for us to mold them. So my submission to all of you is, as you groom students in your own education institutions, develop the sense of self-confidence in them. Give them opportunities so that they are able to step outside their comfort zone. That will really, help in terms of, overcoming their own perceived deficiencies and be a lot more confident. Second is help them, provide them with enough opportunities so that they are able to get out of their comfort zone and really be successful in and reward them. If they are rewarded, I am sure they will try to take a lot more risks in whatever they do. And last but not the least, really bring them out with the right attitude so that when they join organizations, we will benefit and we will definitely provide them a lot more opportunities to realize their potential and be winners in their own life and thereby contribute to the industry and contribute to the nation. Thank you very much for this opportunity.